if set A equals to A comma B comma C comma D comma E. Look, we have 5 elements here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what will be the power set? What will be the power set for A? Since the number of elements in A are 5, therefore I'm going to put power 5 for the 2. So 2 to the 5 equals to 32. We're going to have 32 subsets for A. The total number of subsets will be 32 for A. How to write the subsets? Now let me write all the subsets for A, which are empty set A, B, C, D, E, AB, AC, AD, AE, BC, BD, BE, CD, CE, DE, ABC, ABD. As usual, first we're going to start with the empty set. Empty set is a subset for all the sets. Whatever set you have, empty set is there, which is the subset of any set. First we will start with the empty set and then take all the elements individually, like A, B, C, D, E. Once you do it individually, then you're gonna take double. Then you're gonna start with the 2 elements. First we're gonna start with the A. What is in front of A? In front of A is B. So we'll have A comma B, and then A comma C, and then A comma D, A comma E. So until here, we took all these 4 elements with the A comma B, A comma C, A comma D, A comma E. Now we're gonna start with the B. We're gonna start with the B. What is in front of B? In front of B is C, so we're gonna start with the BC, B comma C, and then B comma D, and then B comma E. First we took all these 4 elements with the A. Now we're gonna take all these 3 elements with the B, and then we're gonna take all these 2 elements with the C, and then we're gonna take E with the D. So you have to go step by step. So you're gonna have B comma C, and then B comma D, and then B comma E. Once you do with the B, then you're gonna start with the C. What is in front of C? In front of C is D, so you're gonna have C comma D, and then C comma E. So once you do with the C, now you're gonna start with the D. What is in front of D? In front of D is E, so you're gonna have D comma E. So far we took the elements individually, and then we took them in pairs, like 2 elements. Now we're gonna start with the 3 elements. So for the 3 elements, what we're gonna do? We have 3 elements. We're gonna start with the AB. Let's suppose that AB is my 1 element. We're gonna take AB with the C, and then with the D, and then with the E. So what is in front of AB? In front of AB is C. So we're gonna have A comma B comma C, and then A comma B comma D, and then A comma B comma E. We're gonna take AB with all these 3 elements. Once you do with the AB, then you're gonna start with the AC. I have done with the AB. Now leave B for a moment. Take C. Let's suppose that A comma C is my single element. Suppose we're gonna take AC with the D and then with the E. Whatever in front of them, we're gonna take all these 3 elements. Take AC with the D and with the E. Don't go in reverse. Go forward, like A comma C comma D, and then A comma C comma E. We took AC with the D and then AC with the E. We have done with the B, we have done with the C. Now we're gonna take AD. Suppose AD is my single element. So we're gonna take E with the AD. A comma D comma E. We have done for the 2 elements. Now forget the element A. We are still taking 3 elements. Now we will start with the BC. Let's suppose that BC is my single element. We're gonna take BC with the D and then with the E. As I said, you're gonna go forward. So B comma C comma D, and then B comma C comma E. Once you do with the BC, now you're gonna start with the CD. We have done with the A, we have done with the B. Now you're gonna start with the C. CD, what is in front of C? In front of C is D. So suppose that CD is my 1 element. So C comma D comma E. Once you do with the C, now you're gonna start with the D. At this moment you're gonna check the subsets. What are the elements which are not repeated? So I think D comma E comma B are not repeated. Just write D comma E comma B. We have to look all the 3 elements subsets. You just check that whether the elements are repeated or not. So far we have done with the single element, with the double element, and then with the three elements for the subset. Now we're gonna start with the four elements. So for the four elements, we're gonna take A, B, C with the D and then A, B, C with the E. We're gonna start with the A, B, C. Suppose that A, B, C is my single element now. We're gonna take this single element with the D and then with the E. So we'll have A, B, C, D here, and A, B, C, E. Once you do with the A, now to take A, B with the D. Let's suppose A, B, D is my single element. So what is in front of A, B, D is E. So we're gonna have A, B, D, E. We took A, B, C first with the D and E. Now to take A, B, D with the E. We have done with the B. Let's suppose A, C, D is my single element. What is in front of A, C, D? It is E. So we're gonna have A, C, D, E. Now forget about A. We're gonna start with the B. So we will have B, C, D, E. So far we have done with the single element, and then with the double elements, and then with the three elements in subset, and then with the four elements in subset. At the end, we're gonna take all these five elements together, which is a subset. So we will have A, B, C, D, E. So let's count it, that whether I have 32 subsets or not. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So I have 32 subsets for the A, which is the power set. The power of A, which is the power set, the power of A is the set of 32 subsets. Look, this yellow set is the set of all the subsets of A. We have 32 subsets for the A. This is called the power set. Let me repeat it again. Look, first you have to start with the empty set, and then you take all the elements individually. A, B, C, D, E. Once you finish with individual subsets, then you're gonna take the double elements. So for the double elements, you have to start with the A. What is in front of A? In front of A is B. So we're gonna start with the A, B, AC, AD, and AE. We have done with the A. Now skip A. Start with the B. What is in front of B? In front of B is C. So we're gonna have BC, BD, and BE. As I said, you have to go forward. Don't go back. First AB, AC, AD, and AE, and then BC, BD, BE. Once you do with the B, then you have to pick the C. What is in front of C? In front of C is D. So we're going to have CD and CE. Make sure so far we are playing with the two elements, not with the three elements, or not with the one element, or not with the four elements. You must have two elements in the subset now. First we had AB, AC, AD, and AE, and then BC, BD, BE, and then CD, CE. And then you have to pick this D, DE. So you have to go step by step. If you go step by step, that will be pretty easy for you. You won't skip any subset. Because remember, the more you have the elements, the more problem you're going to face to find the subsets. Because it will be complicated. For more elements, you're going to have more subsets. So it is pretty hard to get all the subsets. But if you go step by step, that will be very easy for you. You won't skip any subset. So I'm telling you the procedure to go step by step. We have done with the two elements. Now we're going to start with the three elements. For the three elements, what we're going to do, we're going to start with the AB. As we know that for the two elements, we start with the A, like AB, AC, AD, AE. For the three elements, we're going to start with the AB. Suppose this AB is my single element. So you're going to take AB first with the C, and then with the D, and then with the E. So we will have ABC, and then ABD, and then ABE. Once you do with the AB, let's suppose A, C is my single element. So we're going to have ACD, ACE. I repeat it. First we took AB as a single element. ABC, and then ABD, and then ABE. Now you have to skip B. Start with the C, like ACD, and then ACE. As I said, you have to go forward, don't go backward. So you have to go onward of C. So A comma C with the D. Make sure you must have 3 elements in the subset. So once you do with the ACE, then you have to take D with the A. First we took ABC, ABD, and ABE, and then we took ACD, ACE, we took B with the A, and then C with the A, and now we're gonna take D with the A. So ADE. Once you do with the A, now you have to skip the A. You have to pick B, start with the B. But suppose B comma C is my single element, start with the BC. So what is in front of BC? In front of BC is D. So take BC with the D, BCD, and then BCE. So once you do with the BC, then take C comma D. Let's suppose C comma D is my single element, CDE, CDE. Once you do with the CDE, then you have to start with the D comma E, D comma E. At this moment, it is a bit critical because remember, for D comma E, we have 2 elements. You have to go for the 3 elements here. For the 3 elements, we need to come backward. Backward for the elements which is not repeated. Check all the subsets of the 3 elements. What is the element with the DE which is not repeated? B is the element with the DE which is not repeated in all the 3 elements. When we come backward with the DE, we're gonna pick B, not C, not A. Because remember, D comma EC is repeated. D comma EA is repeated. But D comma B is not repeated. Therefore, we're gonna put B. We have done with the 3 elements. Let me repeat the procedure for the 3 elements. What we did, first we join B with the A. So when we join B with the A, suppose that AB is my single element. What is in front of AB? In front of AB is C. We're gonna take AB step by step with the C, and then with the D, and then with the E. Like ABC, and then ABD, and then ABE. Now to skip the B, join C with the A comma C. Suppose AC is my single element. So you have to take AC with the D and then with the E. As I said, you need to go forward. So we will have ACD and then ACE. Now to skip C and join D with the A. Suppose A comma D is my single element. What is in front of D? In front of D is E. So we're gonna have ADE. When you look carefully here, we started with the A, but we joined B with the A first. And then we took AB with the C, and then with the D, and then with the E. Once we did with the B, then we joined C with the A, like ACD and ACE. And then we joined D with the A, ADE. We have done with the A. We're going to initiate with the B. First we will join C with the B, because in front of B is C. So suppose BC is my single element. First take BC with the D and then with the E. We will have BCD and then BCE. Now we're going to take D with the B, join B with the D. So suppose B comma D is my single element. Take BD with the E. We have only E here, so we will have B comma DE. B comma DE. Now we're going to start with the C. Join D with the C. So when you join D with the C, take E. Let's suppose C comma D is my single element. So take C comma D with the E, C comma DE. It is very, very easy. For the 4 elements, we're gonna join C with the AB. Let's suppose AB is my single element. First join C with the AB. So we're gonna take ABC with the D and then with the E. ABCD and then ABDE. Now skip C. Join D with the AB. Once you join D with the B, once you join D with the AB, you will have A comma BD. But we need 4 elements. In front of D is E. So we'll have A comma BDE. Now to skip B, take AC. Initiate with the AC and then join D. In front of D is E. So we're going to have ACD comma E. ACD comma E. And then at the end, you're going to put all the 4 elements in a one subset.